Oi, fala aí pessoal, bom dia. Você está escutando o Inglês no Rádio. I am your host, Foster Hodge. This is your daily dose of English. Hey, Alexia. Hey, listeners of Inglês no Rádio. We love you guys. Alexia, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Happy hump day.
Happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday, also known as Hump Day. Alexia, you know why I love Inglês no Rádio? You know why we do this crazy thing every day that is Inglês no Rádio?
Why?
Because the people that listen to this show are so incredibly nice,
Yes.
so supportive.
Yes.
We have had so many people sending emails, sending questions, sending Instagram DMs, whatever, asking if we are okay during the hurricane.
Yes. Yes. I got a lot of emails asking if we were okay, and it was like, yes, we are in Portugal, so fortunately
Yeah, fortunately.
we weren't there, but all Foster's family were there. So
Yeah.
today we are talking about the hurricane.
Yeah. So in that case, you would say all of Foster's family was there.
Was there?
Yeah, because you're talking about the singular version of all my family.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's just amazing to me that recently the internet has become such a dirty place in so many ways where everyone is just yelling at each other. And somehow we have found this magical little corner of the internet, which our podcast. And I will forever be so happy for everyone that listens to the show, that sends your love and your support.
I think that the word is grateful.
We are forever grateful.
Yes.
Yes.
Gentileza gera gentileza. So.
Exatamente. Exatamente. Eu sempre falo, se um dia vou ter uma tatuagem.
Se um dia eu ter uma tatuagem.
Se um dia eu ter uma tatuagem, eu acho que nunca vou ter. Eu não tenho nada em contra das tatuagens, mas vou tatuar no meu bumbum.
Das suas duas nádegas.
Gera.
Gentileza, aí o gera, a J-E is one nádega, R-A, the other nádega, gentileza.
Yeah. I need to work on my butt a little bit before I do that, but yeah. Anyway.
I know a girl that used to have like me on her butt.
Really?
Yeah.
A girl from my high school had on her bottom lip the words, fuck me.
How? Right. Outside, external, or internal?
On the inside.
Oh my God.
So it's interesting. Apparently, if you get an inner lip tattoo, it goes away. It disappears in like 6 months. But, I mean...
It must hurt so much. It must hurt so much just to write fuck me on your inner lips. Just to go away in 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. And out of all the things that you could tattoo on your body forever, I mean, if I, in my lips, for some reason had gentileza, Alexia would be really mad and I would probably regret that decision, but at least it would not say fuck me.
Yeah.
I hope she is not listening. Anyway, there was a pretty serious hurricane that affected primarily the Carolinas. So when I say the Carolinas, I'm talking about North and South Carolina in the U.S. There are two of them. I was born and raised in South Carolina, but I was born in a little city called Spartanburg, South Carolina, which is right on the border with North Carolina.
Yeah. 1
so,
hour from Charlotte, right?
Yeah. So I have a very deep and close relationship with the Carolinas. When I think about America, most of my students, they think about California, New York, Miami. For me,
Disney.
America is just the Carolinas.
Yeah.
That's it.
And for me nowadays, it is as well.
Yeah. An easy way to start this conversation is you guys in Brazil, you don't have hurricanes, right?
Thank God, no.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Do you know what a hurricane is?
it's a tropical, not rain.
There's a lot of rain involved normally.
Yeah. How would you say that?
So I think I would probably say it's a tropical cyclone,
Yeah.
which I actually had to do a little bit of research about what a hurricane actually is. But essentially, it's just we all know that hot water rises, right? When you're
Mm-hmm.
boiling something and I don't know if you're cooking pasta, hot water rises. So in the Atlantic Ocean, this happens a lot when there are changes in the weather pattern that hot water rises, and then naturally, this means that the pressure in the water goes down a lot. Hot water from the surrounding areas of this place where the hot water just went into the clouds, it all goes into this one place and it creates a cycle. And it creates this cyclone, and it's like a vicious cycle of just hot water is going up, and then the other hot water around it's like, hey, where do we go? And then it goes into the same space, and it creates almost this tornado superstorm type thing that we call a hurricane.
Yeah. So, tornado is not.
The most scientific thing I will ever say on English no Clue. And if we have any scientists or meteorologists listening, I'm sorry.
Yes, we don't know that much. So, cyclone is the normal one. Tornado is a little bit more stronger, and hurricane is the devastating one.
Yeah.
Of course, that you can have tornadoes that are devastating, but if you're talking about this, would be
Yeah,
like that
kind of. So tornadoes is really,
because you guys had the three of them.
yeah. So let me explain this in the most simple way I can. Tornadoes are literally the wind cyclone that happens. Everyone knows what a tornado is. I don't know how to explain it scientifically, but it's kind of a different thing. It happens on land most of the time. Then,
Last year, that's why I'm asking this. Last year, when I was at your house during this time of the year, there was a tornado, right?
yeah,
Yeah, do you remember this? It was on October.
it was in
In
October.
October, oh my God.
With months, we always use in. Yes, it was actually, we were going to
Your birthday
the
dinner.
city beside Spartanburg. That's called Greenville, South Carolina. Beautiful city. I highly recommend people visiting
I love it.
Greenville. Alexia's favorite city in America, perhaps.
Yes, it is.
And when, like a few hours before we were going there, we received on our iPhones, like, a tornado warning. There's tornado in the Spartanburg County area. Seek cover. Like, be safe. And we were just kind of like, yeah, it's fine here. And then we went to Greenville, and on the highway, literally on the highway, we saw just buildings that were completely gone.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
that's crazy. But returning to hurricanes, in general, we call these big, crazy storms that form in the Atlantic Ocean, they're tropical storms, right? Because they kind of start lower in the tropics and then they move up to colder water, and that's where they really start causing problems.
Yeah.
And when it gets really bad, it turns into a hurricane. So the way we categorize them is we have tropical storms, which technically is not as bad as a hurricane, and then a hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
And within a hurricane, we have 5 categories, 1 through 5. So if it's like a hurricane 1, it's kind of small hurricane, probably shouldn't do too many bad things. Hurricane 5 is,
Devastating.
yeah, devastating. Exactly.
Yeah. So Florence was hurricane number 5, right?
No,
No.
no. So Florence actually started as a category 4 hurricane, which is pretty common that when it's still in the ocean, it's a really strong storm. And then when it makes landfall, this is an important phrase. We're talking about when it goes over
Touches the
land,
yeah.
right? We say makes landfall. In general, the storm calms down a lot. So I think it went from a category 4 to a category 1. And then once it really made landfall, it just became a tropical storm.
Yeah. So since 1989, it was the worst one, right?
Yeah. So a brief history about hurricanes in the Carolinas. When I was born, the year I was born, actually at the end of September, I was born in October of 1989, which means I'm 28 years old for the curious people out there. But we had Hurricane Hugo that devastated South Carolina.
Yeah. And
And I
your
think,
mom was almost having you, and with Hugo around I would be so nervous about it.
yeah, I think my parents actually debated for a while if they were going to name me Hugo, which I'm glad that didn't happen.
No, nothing against Hugo at all, but Hugo looking at you.
Hugo Hodge doesn't
HH.
fit. Doesn't
Hey HH, how are you?
doesn't make too much sense. Yeah. And then 3 or 4 years later, we had Hurricane Andrew. Alexia's still laughing. But and we had Hugo and Andrew, which were both super serious hurricanes. Literally thousands of people died.
Was
So
it the
many
one
people
from
lost.
Charleston?
Yes, Andrew devastated Charleston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurricanes are a big deal here.
Yes, and there are seasons, right? From August to October, I hear a lot of hurricane season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We call it hurricane season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always when I go to United States as well.
Yeah. You choose an interesting time to come, always. So, talking about Hugo and Florence and Andrew, something that always just calls my attention is the way we do it in the US. I don't know if this is like the US Weather Service or the Geological Service or something that decides the names. But the way we do it is we just do it in alphabetical order. So the first hurricane of the season starts with an A, then a B, C, D, etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I'm not saying that it's kind of racist against Latinos.
It's curious. It's not racist. It's curious.
Most hurricanes don't have like typical American names like Hurricane Dan, Randy, like Bob.
John.
Yeah, it's always something kind of interesting. So I was looking at the hurricane names for 2018 and 2019. They've already decided what the names will be. Let me just give you some examples. We have Hurricane Alberto, Ernesto, Oscar, Humberto, Gabriela, Lorenzo, Cristobal, Marco, o seu pai.
My dad. I hope it's not that damaged.
Yeah.
Damaging.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Vitor, Pablo.
Ah.
All my friends in Brazil, every one of them has a hurricane, pretty much.
How do you say Humberto in English?
It's
Umberto.
Really, it's a Spanish name. So we'd say, I think most Americans would say,
It's hard.
Humberto. I don't know. Humberto. If I really want to put my most gringo accent, Humberto.
Yeah. Now I have a question that everyone sent it to us.
Yeah.
If I am going to United States, if I am like in Florida, that most of times all the hurricane starts there, and I get a message saying, "Be careful, hurricane is approaching," something like that, what should I do?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a difficult question. My advice would be take the recommendations of, in general, these things are handled by the state and local government. So, for example, if there is a really bad hurricane in South Carolina, they will declare a state of emergency, which more or less just means that the federal government is on call, that the National Guard can come in and help. But if they declared a state of emergency, it's it's not a joke.
Yeah. I think that people who are traveling and are in Florida, for example, just grab a car and drive as far as you can from Florida and stay there for a couple of days and don't think about the money that you spend on the Airbnb or hotel, whatever. You're saving your life because you really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, you can stay at my house. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
In general, our house is kind of almost in the mountains. So, and we're like 3 or 4 hours from the coast. So we're not affected too directly with hurricanes. We
Yes.
receive a lot of rain, but that's it. But the dangerous thing about hurricanes is when they make landfall, they slow down so much that they just stay there and they rain and they rain and they rain and rivers overflow. There's flooding everywhere
Yeah.
and just infrastructure breaks down. So even if when the hurricane hits and you're like, hey, it's just raining a lot, it's not that bad of a storm, terrible things can happen.
Yes. And
I've had friends, people I know that have died in hurricanes just from
staying
not leaving
there.
their houses.
Yeah. And the thing that everyone does before leaving the house or anything like that is go into the supermarket and buying everything that they can, like comida instantânea, like that you don't have to
Yeah,
cook
I would say
anything.
canned food.
Yeah, canned food and everything like that. So,
Yeah, you always hear stories during hurricanes that, like, I don't know, there's just always a news reporter at a grocery store. They went to buy beans and there are no beans. It's the first time in 10 years that they don't have beans at the grocery store.
yeah. And it's really weird because less than 2 months ago, we were in Myrtle Beach, which was very, very damaged by Florence.
Yeah, yeah. It's fascinating actually because with any storm, a lot of things depend on infrastructure. So Myrtle Beach is a pretty advanced city in terms of like the buildings are very well constructed, but the county that Myrtle Beach is in is called Conway, and all of the small cities in Conway County just got fucked up.
Yeah.
And a lot of people died, a lot of people lost their homes. And then in general, like the really nice buildings in Myrtle Beach were fine. So don't take these things lightly. Take them seriously. Hurricanes are very serious storms, but don't let it make you not visit the U.S.
Yeah. And to finish this episode, thank you for asking us how we were and everything like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. The only reason that we wake up every day and record English no Coraggio is because we literally feel the love.
Yes, that's true. That's very true.
For people that don't know, podcast, it's not the best way to get rich quick. It's something
that we love to do.
something. We made
Let
so
me go
many
to
friends,
sleep without this.
received so many emails. We feel the love. Love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of English no Cruhaju. If you like what we do, if you want to support the show, please check out EnglishNoCru.com. At EnglishNoCru.com, you can find everything from the worksheets for these episodes to learn all of the best pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, real English, the way we speak it on the streets. You can also do personalized private coaching sessions with me in our pronunciation course, Sound School. Most importantly, keep up the good fight and lose well. Até já já.